Masters. Another one of the greats in Williams against a rejuvenated Ali Carter, arguably playing the snooker of his life, having got himself, as of right, back in the Masters after a couple of seasons away. So it's Williams to get us underway. And this is a meeting that is overdue, Dominic, because they haven't played for nearly 5 years.
No, that's right. They both had fairly similar seasons last season in terms of prize money, and this really, but I'm looking forward to this because I do love a match where both players have slightly different styles of play. Ali Carter can be a little volatile, certainly does like to wear his heart on his sleeve. He shows a lot of emotion. Mark Williams, the polar opposite of that, really.
Just to say, every seat taken this tournament, a total sellout from the first ball to the last on Sunday night, when someone is going to pick up the iconic Paul Hunter Trophy and a cheque for £250,000. Ali Carter, of course, came within one victory of the title 4 years ago now. Hard to believe it was that long ago, as he mentioned to Rachel. His record in this event is relatively modest. He's only been to the quarter-final stages 3 times, and the irony was that the year, of course, that he made the final, he wasn't actually supposed to be in the tournament. It was only because of O'Sullivan's withdrawal that he got in. He made the most of it. He was 7-5 up against Stuart Bingham in the final before Bingham denied him by 10 frames to 8. Williams, of course, twice a champion, including one of the most famous finals of all time, the re-spotted black victory against Stephen Hendry way back in 1998. And came very close to making it a hat-trick 12 months ago, of course, denied at the last by Judd Trump, having led 8-7. Even though they haven't played for the best part of 5 years, it's a significant rivalry, this one. This is their 18th meeting. Williams leading the head-to-head 11-6. They're second at the Masters. Williams having beaten Carter back in 2010 in the first round. What a scene. Interesting to hear Carter say that he rates this tournament in terms of prestige alongside the World Championship. And certainly in terms of atmosphere. Make a case for saying it is the best on the circuit. That's a mistake from Williams.
Yes, wanted that cue ball behind the pack of reds to block off this corner pocket. Needs a good kiss from cue ball to blue, though. That's okay. Say okay, yes, he can pop the blue, no problem at all, but no easy red to play for. Maybe the one at the back of the pack, closest to the black. Unless he can run through for the red near the brown in the left centre, perhaps. Well, he had more angle on the blue than I thought he had. He was okay.
He's been tremendously consistent in the last season and a half, Carter. That's why he's back amongst the game's elite. But he's missed that red. Be disappointed with that. But of course he was triumphant at the German Masters last season. Dominated Tom Ford in the title match, as we see that red go astray again. He was runner-up to Murphy at the Players' Championship. He's been runner-up to Trump this season in Wuhan. So he's been racking up the ranking points. That's why he's back up to number 10 in the world. But of course, Mark Williams has also tasted success very recently, including the British Open this season. And much more recently, the invitational event in Macau, a very lucrative few days for Williams, who beat Jack Lazowski in the final. So he's been enjoying the winning habit again.
And Ali Carter isn't too short of match practice either. He's playing in Group 2 of the Championship League Invitational event just a few days ago, losing in the semi-finals of Group 2 to Mark Selby.
Williams 6.
Both players just looking to feel their way into this opening frame. Inevitably, there'll be nerves. You have to be if you're to perform at your best in front of a crowd like this. And that's nicely cued. So Carter back in.
He's a very confident player, Ali Carter. There's no getting away from that. He bustles around the table, gets on with it. A very aggressive player. Needs a good positional shot here, though. This is awkward, this red to left corner. It was hampered by the red near the right side cushion, decided against attempting that red.
Carter 8.
What can you say about this man, Mark Williams? Played so many matches at the Masters. He's played 53, in fact, and won 30 of them. Ali Carter there. Played 19 matches here at the Masters, but only won 7. But you are always facing the game's elite whenever you play at the Masters.
Turns 49 in March, Mark Williams. Became the oldest player to make a maximum at the English Open back in 2022 when he was 47. And in winning the British Open this season and beating Mark Selby, he became the second oldest winner of a ranking event after the great Ray Reardon. No easy path back to bulk here for Mark Williams at all. Red as well near the left-hand side cushion. Will also be causing him a problem, trying to get around the back of that to take the cue ball back towards bulk. Just avoided it. These two players share plenty of characteristics, both very tactically astute, both heavy scorers when given the opportunity. I think though Mark Williams just has that extra something tactically, call it tablecraft, whatever you wish to call it, but he has that. He's able to just pick out the odd shot here and there that can cause a problem. Now, Ali Carter, as you can see in that picture there, there's a definite chance of a plant here to the right corner, and I'll be amazed if he refuses it. It does have to be made just fractionally, but I'll be surprised if this doesn't go in. Yes, and it had to go in, clearly, as there was a good deal of jeopardy had the red stayed out, but in it goes. So Carter, once again, at the table, going to make early inroads in this match. He'll be disappointed not to have better position on the colour there.
There is a gap through to the black. And for positional reasons, he needs to take it on, but there's a lot of pressure on this. Not quite, just caught the near jaw. Now, that could be very costly.
Yes, that was tough, wasn't it? Because he knew in missing it, he was leaving plenty. Just caught the near angle. One of those shots where there's plenty of reward if you get it, but a lot of risk if you don't. And Williams will now look to capitalise.
Well, already has a tricky little positional shot to play, Mark. And these reds are rather in one another's weight. So that's why he's played for red into this right corner. He needs to try and get that cue ball somewhere around the pink spot area, then there will be reds available to him. Say I'm a little surprised this went in. Caught a lot of that near draw and at pace.
He's been scoring very heavily this season, Williams. He's already made 29 centuries, which is just 3 shy of his season's tally in the previous campaign.
Again, with so much angle on the blue, he can't just hold for a red. He may have to just trickle into them.
Can you please make sure your phone's on silent, please? Thank you.
Williams officiating for us tonight, just admonishing a member of the audience for having their phone on. Fairly commonplace these days, though, isn't it? Oh, that cannon's worked out well. Now he's back in business.
22. $30. 31.
One thing you can say about Mark Williams these days, he's very careful of what he does. The flamboyance and flair of a couple of decades or so ago. And it's still there if he wants it, but he's changed his game dramatically, Mark. In the last 20 years or so, but that red has gone astray. What a surprising miss.
Mark Williams. 30.
Yes, that's a big let-off for Ali Carter. Williams looking to make the most of Carter's missed black earlier in the frame, but didn't really get that close to that red. That's what he thought of it.
Well, Phil, I hope he's not in any back pain or anything like that, because he did have that problem with twinge earlier on, and if he's conscious of it, it could cause a problem in terms of focus and concentration.
Between them. Quite an edgy opening to this match. Who's going to settle down first?
Short of pace there, Ali, with that safety, but the green is doing him some favours here. It's blocking a possible red to the left corner.
The winner to play the winner of our match tomorrow afternoon from 1:15 UK time, Judd Trump, who of course is the reigning champion, going for a hat-trick of Masters titles this year against former runner-up Kyron Wilson. So it could be a repeat of the final in the next round if Williams were to prevail tonight. And Trump comes through. Williams, of course, had a very near miss the year before, when at one stage Neil Robertson needed a couple of snookers in their deciding frame in their semi-final, got them and won on the black.
Length of the cue ball. It's a useful target, both yellow and brown, to have to try and get that snooker behind them.
It's confirmation that it is overall quite a modest record that Carter has in this event, but of course he did get himself within 2 frames of the title. Playing the last season and a half. If he wins tonight, he'll fancy going deep again, but that's a good red from Williams to get back in. '26th appearance for the great man. Won his second Masters title, as he did his first at the expense of his great mate Stephen Hendry. That was 21 years ago though now.
Four.
Just this pink and one more red required to win the opening frame.
'18. '19.
And typically it was the trademark long red that got Williams in to clinch this frame. One of the best in that regard in the history of this sport.
25. Six.
Carter had an opportunity himself earlier in the frame. Missed what was a tough black under pressure, knowing he was leaving plenty. In the event, it wasn't as expensive as it might have been, with Williams missing into the left centre on the red, but got back in with that excellent long-range red and the trademark under the body shot, with the frame long since won. A consummate match player, Mark Williams, still thoroughly enjoying the heat of battle.
39.
I think he's proud of himself, and rightly so, that now knocking on the door of his 50th year, he's still amongst the game's elite.
$44. $38. $53.
He's taken these very nicely after the early jousting. It's Mark Williams who got in with a terrific long red and clears the table with 66. First blood then to the 3 times champion of the world, who leads Ali Carter by 1 frame to 0. Well, you could feel the tension, Don, couldn't you, early in the first frame, which is nothing unusual here at Ali. Second evening of the 2024 Masters. We've already had high drama today, of course, with Ding Junhui's magnificent maximum break in defeat against an outstanding performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ali Carter doing battle this evening with Mark Williams, who struck first, helped by a break of 66. Both players having had chances to settle into this match, but of course there's a long way to go. The first to 6 with the right to play either defending champion Trump or Kyron Wilson. All in action, as mentioned, tomorrow afternoon.
The second frame, Ali Carter to break.
Ben Williams calling the crowd to order ahead of frame 2. These players no strangers to meeting on the very biggest of snooker occasions. I mentioned Williams has won their only previous Masters match, but they've played at the World Championship as well. That was the year that Williams claimed his 3rd title in the quarterfinals after Carter had impressively beaten O'Sullivan in the second round. Oh, that was a long way off from Williams, very uncharacteristic. Has he got away with it, though? Carter has a victory over Williams in the UK Championship, won in a decider back in 2008, so a meeting, as mentioned, that is overdue, given they haven't played for nearly 5 years. He's getting a bit lucky not to leave anything there.
Well, absolutely. It just shows, doesn't it, how important a good run of the ball can be at times. Mark could have left plenty on there for Ali Carter, but didn't. Superbly played, safety shot from Mark Williams. I think Ali would be disappointed, though, not to get this safe. I wonder if Ali Carter has had any thoughts about approaching this match in a certain way by playing an attacking style of snooker to try and keep the balls open. As Mark Williams' tablecraft is rather legendary.
So Carter having a little practice on the table ahead of this match earlier this evening in tandem with his coach Chris Henry. Clearly that has been a winning combination. The results he's put together, which have got him back amongst the game's elite. Sitting pretty as regards the Players Series events, first of which is next week, the World Grand Prix. Also looking good for the Players and the Tour Championships to follow. Lucrative events for those players who have excelled the best this season. Of course, Williams is in a similar boat. 4th on the one-year list. Carter is 8th.
Enough backspin this time from Mark Williams, so good half chances for Ali Carter, but again, a lot of pressure on this pot.
Six.
Carter's been no slouch in the century-making stakes this season. He's up to 20 already and has passed 400 for his career. One of only 17 players to have made that many. There's another potential plant that's probably available to this left corner. In fact, Ali's chosen to play it. Important for Ali Carter, I feel, to make a good break here, just to settle any nerves, because this is another good opportunity for him.
17. $18. $21.
Look for an angle on a colour now to try to play for some of the reds around the pink spot.
22. $25. $26.
The pink will be tied up once it's potted. The spot is surrounded by reds.
$32. $33. $38. $39.
Bottom red of that group of four below the pink will pot into this right corner. That in turn would open one to the right of it, to the left corner.
$44.
Wanted to be straight on the red to run through for the black and had to play a delicate little cannon there for the pink, and it's gone wrong a little. Maybe potable still, but very awkward.
Yes, much closer to the pink than he would have liked. This is tricky. Although it's a useful lead, it's by no means a decisive one, so a delicate touch required here for Carter. And it was always drifting to that near jaw, so the break ends disappointingly early. He has got a couple of awkward reds by way of some insurance, but clearly disappointed that he couldn't go on to clinch the frame there. Never easy to judge, is it, when you're that close to the object ball?
No, although immediately it struck the pink, it did seem to be heading towards the pocket briefly.
14.
Not an easy pot, and had to concentrate fully
20.
on getting the pot, which means the position is far from A1 for Williams. They've shaved the lead now to just 25 points, still 51 on the table. There's applause, but it always looked as though it was heading to the near jaw, so the damage not too great for Carter after the miss pink. He's back to the table with that 25-point cushion. Going to need one of the remaining two reds with a colour to make the frame safe. And that should be good enough, because the blue will put him 36 in front with only 35 left. This to make absolutely sure of levelling the match. It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, sure.
The crowd acknowledging that that is surely the ball that makes it one apiece. That would have been a little concern when he missed the pink to the left centre, but Williams in turn missed the tricky red to the right corner from distance. And that's allowed the former finalist to equalise. So, battle joined.
14. 16.
Given Carter's form in the last 18 months, this looked likely to be a really tight contest.
19.
Everything that's happened so far is suggesting otherwise.
I think now that Ali Carter has won this second frame, it does set up this match very nicely.
The captain levelling up proceedings here at Alexandra Palace. Battle is joined. Mark Williams pegged back. And it's 1 frame apiece. So Carter delighted, I'm sure, to level the match. It could have been different. Landed very awkwardly on this pink, and sure enough, overcut it. It was a tricky little pot, that.
It did look to start in the pocket, didn't it? And just its last couple of feet or so just veered off slightly. This was a difficult shot for Mark Williams at time. He just didn't get enough purchase on the cue ball there, and that's why it went thin and left that easy red for Ali Carter, who eventually went on to win that frame. And as I say, in these big matches, these big tournaments, you don't settle down until you can win your first frame, and now Ali Carter has. This match could be very exciting.
Yes, the stats at this stage, fairly academic, really. It's all about getting that first frame and feeling part of the match. And that's what Carter's been able to do, to level it up. One frame apiece in our 4th match of the 2024 Masters, after Ronnie O'Sullivan came through earlier to stay on track for his record-extending 8th Masters tilt. And another title. Mark Williams going for a hat-trick this year, having last tasted victory in this tournament over 20 years ago against the great Stephen Hendry. The winner, of course, to play the Judd Trump, the defending champion, or Kyron Wilson. They do battle tomorrow afternoon. And both players will be happy enough to have a frame early, settle the butterflies, as Williams prepares to get us back underway. Mark Williams breaking off in frame 3. 1 apiece. Williams with 66 clearance in the opening frame. Carter with breaks of 34 and 45 in the second.
To be very disappointed to see that red finish over the middle pocket. Expected it to run a lot further than it did. So first chance, Mark Williams here in frame 3. Just the wrong side of the blue, but can run through for a red into the right corner perhaps.
Happily, no indications at the moment that Williams is struggling, having referenced the fact that he tweaked his back and was concerned initially, but told Rachel that it was okay, and it appears to be so, which is good news.
12.
Chance to screw through these reds, develop a few. It's got a good angle here on the black, but they're not necessarily the best pack to go into from the black. Yeah, it was always going to be difficult when you have a shelf of reds at the back of the pack It's always better to try to get onto the blue if you can. Mark had no choice there, though.
Williams 20.
Yeah, Williams has managed to get the cue ball pretty tight to the top cushion. Made Carter's next shot a bit trickier. Nothing like winning a big title to restore lost confidence, and that, of course, is what Carter was able to do in claiming his second German Masters title last season. Nearly 7 years after his previous ranking triumph in China at the World Open back in 2016. But it's been the consistency of his results, aside from that title, which have got him back where he belongs. He was a former world number 2, remember, Carter. Twice a world championship runner-up to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Former UK semi-finalist, and, of course, 4 years ago, runner-up here.
Could feasibly attempt this red to the right corner, but I don't think he'd be on the black if it went in. So just the safety. A few of these safety shots from Mark Williams are landing a little short, which will concern him. Looks to be attempting this long red to the left corner. Long way off, though. Is that red to slow down? It's a fly that's landed on the red. Doesn't seem to want to go anywhere.
Are you going for it?
Well, Ben Williams has previous when it comes to wildlife at the Masters. I seem to recall he came off second best with a wasp. Less danger on this occasion as Williams finds a double.
thinks it's a strawberry.
Mark Williams 1.
Banks of spectators there, creating this incredible atmosphere that we always have here at the Masters. Perhaps not the best safety shot, as we have another look at that fly. I suppose it's a house fly. I don't think it's anything else. Chance of a red though here for Mark.
No flies on Williams, clearly. What a pot that was.
Both players now have got a feel of the table and the pace of the cushions, etc. So I expect Mark's cue ball control to be pretty good here. Well, it's an interesting thing. If Mark were to touch that fly, because that fly's in contact with the red, it'd be a foul.
Well, the fly might be about to have liftoff. Completely gripped by the action at the moment.
No, the poor thing's facing the wrong way. He can't see what's about to happen.
Well, at least he's on top of the ball rather than on the side.
He doesn't seem to be suffering any ill effects, that fly. I don't know. The things you see and encounter as a snooker player.
$21. $22.
That's a mistake from Mark Williams. Two straight on the blue. He'd be bitterly disappointed with that one. Only way to get into the reds now would be by taking the brown, and that's missable.
Williams 22.
No heroics from Williams, protecting what he's got by pushing the brown into a safe spot in case Carter gets in for a counter. But clearly annoyed that didn't allow himself the chance to develop the reds there.
Can you please not call out when players are down on the shot, please? Thank you.
He's been very fortunate there, Mark Williams. Full ball cannon on the yellow. May well have left that red on. That half-ball cannon on it, as you can see, is full ball snookered the red behind the blue. And Ali now doesn't have an easy safety shot because of that.
The prize have come on Ali, but the red that's come up the table is hardly in any one position to be potted.
No, but for 3 consecutive shots now, that blue has hidden very possible reds to that right corner. To move that red that's potable. Mark Williams can certainly attempt this, but no guarantee of position here. Avoided the cannon on the 2 reds though. He's still not on a colour unless that cue ball keeps running. Oh my goodness. I think that yellow is probably a little thinner than it looks.
He's always been gifted with that feather-like touch, Williams, with shots like that. I don't think he has a peer in the game in playing those little dribbles up to a ball. Just always seems to get the perfect weight, because they can be misjudged, can't they? You can underhit them, you can overhit them. Yeah, that was just right. And it's got Carter in trouble. He's already 44 behind in this frame, and he'll afford to leave Williams a chance. Otherwise, 2-1 looks highly likely.
Foul miss. Mark Williams full.
Going back.
I think the problem for Ali Carter here is he's so close to the green, he can't quite generate as much left-hand side on the cue ball as he'd like to get him behind that red that's by the black spot. Because the yellow is a little bit of a problem for him as well. Just can't get the side spin. And because of the yellow being where it is, he's having to play it to the right of the yellow anyway, so he needs to get some side spin on the cue ball. If he can't, this shot's not on.
Just for a moment, Carter fans were wondering if he might nestle in behind the green. Williams lead now 52. He's just one opportunity away here from a 2-1 advantage. Can he clip this red in?
I think he can. It's slightly hampered by the yellow. Wow. The double kiss has given him the chance of pink or black, but neither pot are easy. Pink's probably no good because the cube will be heading back towards bulk. So if he wants to continue the break, it'll have to be the black.
Again, very coolly cued by Williams. Nothing unusual about that. He's on the cusp of clinching this frame, just a couple of points away. And that's another good one. So Carter at the snooker's required stage. Williams, if he slots this black in, will surely be retaking the lead. It's pretty tense stuff, isn't it, in the early running of this match? A lot of mutual respect on show. Both players have been in fine form of late.
16.
It's proving to be quite a battle, but it's Williams who's held sway in this one.
17. Twenty-two. Mark Williams, 22 in the frame.
That red is academic. Ali Carter nods his head. So Mark Williams back in front here at the Palace. With one more frame to come before the mid-session interval, it's the two-times champion who leads 2-1. Now, of course, the winner will play either the defending champion, Judd Trump, or this man, Kyron Wilson, 2018 runner-up at the Masters to Mark Allen, who's had something of an indifferent season to date, but it could all change here this week. We know how good Kyron is, just limbering up ahead of his showdown with the champion. And our coverage, of course, starts with Radzi and the team with all the build-up from 12:45 UK time. 1:45 if you're watching in Europe, before they get underway just after 1 o'clock local time. Wilson, one of the hardest workers in the game, leaves no stone unturned, always looking for those marginal gains, the extra edge to try and fulfill his tremendous potential. Of course, he's former world finalist as well as Masters finalist, multiple ranking titleist, but looking to kick-start his season after a disappointing start. The inevitable hubbub at the end of a frame, which has gone the way of Mark Williams, who leads the man in your picture, Ali Carter, 2-1. So Carter will be keen now to share the spoils ahead of the 15-minute interval. It's proving to be, as we expected it would, Dom, very competitive. And Williams has just got his nose in front again.
He has, but interestingly, in that third frame, there wasn't a single break over 30. So I'm expecting a lot more from both of these players as the match progresses. But Ali Carter could really do with winning this fourth frame, because they'll be heading off for an interval afterwards. He won't want to go in for that interval cup of tea with a 3-1 deficit.
Yeah, plenty of terrific matchups, of course. There always is, with the very best in the world doing battle here at the Masters. As mentioned, Trump against Kyron Wilson tomorrow afternoon. That's followed by Neil Robertson against Barry Hawkins. That fly is proving to be pretty stubborn and durable. Going to be fascinating to see, isn't it, how Robertson goes after a very disappointing season to date by his standards. He went home to Melbourne to recharge. How will he go against the Hawk tomorrow evening?
Thank you. Settle down now, please. Fourth frame. Ali Carter to break.
Ali Carter breaking off in frame 4, looking to make it honours even at the interval. Williams leading the overall head-to-head 11-6. But you have to go back to the Players' Championship in 2019 for the last time they played. Williams won on that occasion 6-2. Carter's most recent success over Williams, the Northern Ireland Open in 2018, 4-3. He's found the double again.
Very close with that attempt at the blue. Now, did he hold the cue ball well enough for that red to the left corner? Have a look at this again. Just catches enough of the near jaw to not go in.
No pot for Carter to go at, so has to settle for a safety.
Ali may choose to bring a few reds into play here with this safety shot. I do feel his best chance of winning this match is to play an open game. Ali Carter did have a look at that. That wasn't a fluke, it was a beautifully executed shot. He'll be glad it went in because that cue ball didn't reach its intended target of the bulk cushion. You can put the blue here into the right centre, but it's a thin one. considering the pink, he'll do well to get good position on his next red, unless he wishes to play this pink at pace. Oh, great pot. For me, the best pot from Ali Carter we've seen in the match so far.
Whenever you take on a pot knowing that if you miss, you're leaving your opponent an opportunity, there's extra pressure clearly attached, and Carter passed the test there.
8.
Required good cueing.
Fourteen. 15.
Doesn't have a good angle on the pink to work with here, Ali. He'll be forced to play for the loose red to the right centre. That's not ideal either. May not be able to get a good angle on the blue if he rolls the red in. I don't think he can quite come down far enough for the pink. In the middle of all of those reds, there was one sneaky little red that was available. I'm not sure Ali played for it, but, well, he's got a much better angle on the pink this time to go into the reds.
$28. 29. 34. 35.
Now, does he have the right angle on the yellow? I wonder, to screw into this group of reds. Don't think there's a loose one that will pot anywhere. Well, he's got one on into the right corner.
37.
A little close to the top cushion, though. He'll need to be careful with it.
It's been a well-manufactured break this so far from Carter. There have been one or two awkward pots that he's negotiated convincingly. There's another one. Gradually building a very handy lead in his bid to level this up at the break.
43.
This red is clearly very tight. I think Ali screwed the cue ball back a couple of inches further than he wanted to. This isn't the time to make a mistake with this handy 42 points lead, and there's still plenty of reds on the table for Mark Williams to raise that deficit. Just about. It's nicely on the black, but he will have to just play it with a little bit of pace to get onto the red next to it.
It's not getting any easier, this break, but as long as they keep going in,
51.
it's the main thing for Carter as he moves to a 50-point advantage. He's not too far away now from clinching this frame, but still work to be done, and still some risk. Williams could make an effective counter. It's another well-cued shot, right in the centre this time. He's had to work extremely hard for his first half-century of the evening.
59.
But given the context, 2-1 behind, it's one of the greats. Very important visit for Carter.
60.
This to make it 2 each, barring snookers. And this has been typically steely from the captain.
66.
And that red surely seals it for him, and there's been a lot of applause in this break, and understandably, because there've been a number of shots that could have gone astray. There's another great effort to break open the remaining reds, but the frame is won. Well played, Ali Carter. This is proving to be every bit as tight as we expected it might be at the start of the evening. Both players giving it everything here at the Masters, and nothing to choose as we expected it would be. And it's Mark Williams to get us back underway, twice Masters champion, of course. Although it's been over 2 decades since he lifted the trophy. Still got musical accompaniment. There's always something going on in this cavernous venue. Wasps, bees, flies. Just for a moment, Dom, it felt like the shootout. You have happy memories of that this season?
Yes, and last, really, but I don't enjoy the event, I have to say. I know that'll surprise so many people, but I don't. It's very, very nerve-wracking. And I don't like the fact it's a ranking event, but I've mentioned that to the governing body on numerous occasions. Anyway, into frame 5. Black is tied up as a result of the break-off shot, so both players will be hoping they can bring it into play at some point.
As the guys were discussing in the studio, nothing really to choose as regards the stats so far. Ali Carter's long potting has been very consistent. This one just now, but 5 out of 7 for the match, very good. Williams not as accurate in that department as he normally is, with 2 out of 6. How's he going to fare with this one?
Just hoping to just come past that pink and red. And he won't be pleased that he'd left that red on for Mark Williams. I think with his previous safety, he was just trying to chip it into the black and red to free the black. Initially lining up the blue. Maybe it's very tight. Maybe you can't quite see enough of it.
Mark Williams 1.
Williams has nothing left to prove in this game, but one of his targets for what remains of his career is to be in the top 16 when he passes his 50th birthday. He's very much on track to achieve that. A particular milestone is only 14 months away now. World number 8 at the moment, Williams, in the top 4 this season as regards the one-year points.
Yeah, I remember the great Steve Davis saying a similar thing, that at the age of 50 he wanted to still be in the world's top 16, and I think it was a feat that he managed to achieve.
By Steve Davis's stellar standards, the Masters was never his favourite tournament, even though he won it 3 times. By standards, he said in most of the other events he contested, that was a modest return. But of course, he famously beat Ronnie O'Sullivan when he was the underdog. Back in 1997, he was 8-4 down in that final. And he won the last 6 frames on the bounce against the world number 1. He also had the streaker, of course.
Choosing just to drop that black in almost pocket weight. He's left himself a little bit to do here if he wants to play the red just below the black.
8.
Could play the red that's just above the black to the left, but people would be running into other reds. So that's the red to the right centre if he doesn't want to take any risks positionally.
He's been knocking in some good balls, Ali Carter. That was a feature of the 72 break he made to level this match at the interval. It was clearly a very important visit, because had he fallen 3-1 behind, then he's got a lot to do against the 3 times world champion. But he held himself together in those crusher moments. And that was another good pot. Just misjudged. Players
Carters are struggling to win frames in a single scoring visit this evening. Complete contrast really to the match with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding this afternoon.
Ali Carter 11.
No joy positionally for Carter, so the break ends prematurely. Williams' highest break so far, the 66th clearance he made in the opening frame.
Wow, a miss. Ali Carter 4.
Chance of a shot to nothing for Ali there. It was so close to the pot, he got the second part of the shot right. Keeping him behind the blue. Mark Williams in trouble here. Maybe a gap between brown and blue for the red to the corner pocket. I don't know if you can see enough to attempt the pot. Don't see much likelihood of getting a decent safety from it.
Primary goal achieved very successfully by Williams in getting the cue ball tight to the baulk rail. It is a very different type of match to the pyrotechnics of this afternoon's battle between.
Well, there has to be a huge chance here for Mark to plant a loose red onto the pink and red. Any sort of contact would see that red go in. And he's on the pink, so great chance here for Mark Williams in potting that plant. He's opened more reds into play.
Seven. Eight.
Mark Williams averaging 22 seconds per shot. Ali Carter's averaging 25 seconds per shot, and that's rather slow for him, indicative of the type of frame that we're seeing. A lot of safety play, not too much fluent break building from Ali Carter really.
14. $15.
Mark played for the red below the black there, but he didn't have a good angle on it. He doesn't have a good angle on this either, really, to force it on the angles of the black pocket. Now back in much better position.
One.
What a moment it was for Williams when he clinched his maiden Masters title, also his first Triple Crown title back in '98. In the most sensational circumstances, 3 down with 4 to play he was against the great Stephen Hendry. Forced the decider, and then the re-spotted black. Hendry had a crack at it. Missed it into the left centre. Williams potted it into the green pocket. A moment he'll never forget. Followed it up 5 years later. Hendry was his victim once again. That was rather less dramatic. An emphatic 10-4 win. And of course he's come
46.
Extremely close in the last couple of years. Runner up to Trump. 10-8 last season, and that extraordinary semi-final season before with Neil Robertson, who denied him on the black after he'd needed a couple of snookers. He remains very much a big occasion player. These are the tournaments, particularly at this stage of his career, that really get Williams' competitive juices flowing.
55. $62.
This red and another black, and he should be taking the lead for the 3rd time tonight.
63.
Typically smooth from Williams, his highest break of the match so far.
$71. $77. Okay. 78.
Chance of the first century of the evening, but Mark would need that very tricky green. Made 618 in his career so far.
85.
One of only 9 players to achieve that many. I think he's rather more passionate about making centuries these days than he was earlier in his career, when he wasn't much bothered about it, as long as he won the frame.
93.
He's made 29 already this season, which is only 3 shy of his tally the season before. Ah, shame. No century for Williams, but a superb run of 93 launched by the long-range plant. And for the 3rd time tonight, it's the 2 times Masters champ who hits the front at 3-2. Well, this is the shot that changed the course of this frame. The half-ball cannon off the top cushion from Carter, but the problem for him, Don, was that the plant was very much on.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Williams had the chance to play this red onto the pink and make the plant, and it worked out very nicely. He was probably expecting to be on the black. He was delighted to be on the pink and, well, won the frame off it in the end with that excellent break of 93. What a shame it wasn't a century break, but he's re-established that lead. Hasn't been behind in the match yet.
Would have been his 32nd at the Masters, making his 26th appearance this year. Mark Williams, and looking for his 31st victory. For Ali Carter, well, once again, he's playing catch-up, but so little to choose between this pair this evening. It still feels like it's going to go close to the wire. Mark Williams back in front with comfortably his best break of the evening, but you could see his frustration at not quite making the century. Had to settle for 93 nonetheless. In front for the third time tonight, and Carter invited to try and level up proceedings once again as we head towards the midway point of this match. 6, of course, is the target. Prize for the winner, a meeting with either Kyron Wilson or the defending and 2 times champion Judd Trump, the player of the season. They do battle tomorrow afternoon. Our coverage is underway as usual. 1:45 UK time, 1:45 if you're watching in Europe. Neil Robertson and Barry Hawkins to follow tomorrow evening. Carter to break off in frame 6.
Well, that's a useful break-off from Ali, because although that red is possible to the left corner, I can't see Mark Williams taking the cue ball around the back of the black and the red to safety. Went all out for the pot, full-bloodedly to cannon the red away from the black, and he's played an absolute peach there, Mark Williams. Wonderful shot.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. Who would have believed that after such a great red from the great man? Routine black. Hard to explain.
One.
A shake of the head from Williams. No wonder now. Can Carter punish that surprise error?
So far, I have to say, this match seems to have been played pretty much on Mark Williams' terms. The way the frames are going, the tactical play. Ali Carter doesn't like to engage himself too much with that style of play. He's more of an attacking player, likes a break build, likes to get on with it. He's averaging 25 seconds a shot, and that's slow for him. Maybe that's a mistake. Was looking for an angle on the blue to go into the pack of reds. He can do it from the black, but he'll have a little less control of the cue ball with this, and will really need to trust to luck. The 2 reds to the right. There's a little gap between them, and now if Ali can find that gap, these reds just split beautifully. Well, he found the gap, but how on earth did he miss the black? Incredible.
Make out to 7.
It's catching. But what's the damage? At first sight, could have been a lot worse. There is no damage, just a safety for Williams.
Again, because of that mistake from Ali Carter, mind you, he wasn't on red anyway, but you know, this frame could follow the pattern of most of the others, and it doesn't suit Ali's style of play.
Further evidence, should it be needed, that this match is extremely tight. Pretty much even in all the key areas. It's another good safety from Carter, who's certainly matching Williams in that department so far tonight.
Rather a miss. Ali Carter full.
That's not going to reach.
Rather a miss. Ali Carter full.
Carter's 5 out of 7 from long range tonight. Pretty good return. And that's another clean pot to get himself back in.
I'd like to go into the pack of reds, but I'm a bit concerned about that little line of red, pink, red to this right corner. There in the middle of all of those reds is a plant. Looks pretty much dead set. And because of it, I'd be playing the black here to come off the side cushion back towards that card, because now the black can be on its spot. And this could be a very good opportunity. Didn't want the cube near the cushion. Not going to be easy now
8.
to get onto a colour.
16. Thank you. 17. Four. 25.
Could go into the reds here, Ali Carter, but there is still that loose one to play for, and if you can remove that, it brings another one next to it into play.
$32. 33.
Carter showing plenty of mettle this evening. 3 times he's found himself behind, but each time he's been able to respond, and so far so good in his bid to level this once again. Try as he might, Williams can't shake Carter off at the moment.
40.
Knocked in that tremendous red at the start of this frame. Only to miss pretty routine black.
41.
Now Carter moving pretty close to 3 each.
This is certainly much better from Ali Carter. This is the sort
48.
of rhythm and speed of play that we're used to from him. He needs to try and keep this speed of play up and try to perturb Mark Williams a little, because at the moment he's dictating terms in this match.
Red to make sure.
57.
And the pattern from the early stages of the match continues after the interval. Williams asking the question by getting his nose in front, and Carter answering it by showing his determination.
$64. 65.
Carter made his 400th and 401st century break at the recent Championship League in Leicester. So he's passed that milestone.
Williams knows this frame has gone. Carter making his 13th appearance at the Masters this year. On 9 occasions he's failed to clear the first hurdle.
$79.
He's now closing in on his 8th Masters century.
80.
His highest ever break at the Masters is, for him, a lowly 133, which he can't better here.
$86.
Famously made the perfect break at the Crucible back in 2008.
87.
When he made the first of his 2 World Finals. But he's playing right now with a great deal of self-belief because he's got so many match wins under his belt. 5th ranking title in Berlin last season.
96.
Runner-up in Wuhan this season. A lot of deep runs, a lot of ranking points safely bagged for Carter, and that's taken a lot of pressure off his shoulders, having firmly ensconced himself back among the game's elite. And there is an 8th Masters century, first of the night. He's standing up to the pressure applied by his opponent. Terrific stuff. What a clearance that was. 118 from the captain. Mark Williams pegged back once again. Still nothing to choose after 6 frames of a possible 11. It's 3 each. Could we be heading? Himself in front in this extremely tight battle.
Chance of a straightish long red here for Ali Carter. He could run through for the black, and the only red he could leave potentially is the one he takes on. Most players these days would attempt this red, they wouldn't refuse it. Ali Carter is. Decided though to play a safety and bring a few more reds into play. He may have left a pot on here for Mark Williams. There could be a gap through to this red near the left corner.
Good red, but no joy positionally.
see enough of the pink to cut it in. It's very tricky. Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? Oh my goodness. I thought it was there.
Usually on these modern tables with virtually no nap on the cloth, you see very little deviation into the centre pockets with shots like this, but a couple of times this evening we've seen the ball curl to the near jaw, which was commonplace back in the day when the cloths were a little thicker, Dom.
Yes, it's a strange thing though, when you cut a ball back from that sort of angle, if anything, the object ball is more likely to pull in towards the near jaw as it did there. Pity for Mark Williams fans. Could have been a frame winner had it gone in.
And now Carter, having shown plenty of mettle in staying with Williams tonight, is now eyeing the possibility of leading this match for the first time. Fresh from that sparkling century clearance, he'll be feeling good about his game. He's in stroke.
I'm sure Ali would like to play on one of the three reds near the black spot, to give himself the opportunity to play for the black and bring it into play.
This is Carter's first Masters appearance since he made the final 4 years ago now. He led that final 7-5 against Stuart Bingham. He was looking good to win his first Triple Crown title, but Bingham roared back right at the end of the match, as Carter acknowledged ahead of this evening's match in conversation with Rachel. His fellow Essex Qist really did turn it on right at the end of that match to deny him 10-8. But he'll be even more pleased to be here this year, because he's here on merit. He's here because of how consistent he's been. 4 years ago, he got in courtesy of Ronnie O'Sullivan's surprise decision to withdraw.
28.
Just a little too much angle on the blue here. Can't just drop it in to automatically be on a red. Williams rather concerned that he may be falling behind for the first time this evening. Well, that looks to have finished very awkwardly for Ali Carter. Hampered cueing. And I think with work to do with the cue ball, he may not find it easy to get onto a colour here. Red above the black was his intended next red, but if he just drops it in, which is all he can really do, cueing over that red, I don't think position to the black is a certainty.
Black is no gimme. But Carter has had a habit this evening of negotiating awkward pots like that. He did it in one of the key breaks of the night so far to level this match at 2-all at the interval. One of 72. It's not a straightforward break, but he kept knocking in the tough ones, and that was another test passed by Carter in his bid to get himself in front in this match for the first time tonight. Williams has been frozen out for quite a while now. Took on the pink, just drifted to the near jaw.
58.
It looks like being his last meaningful shot of this frame.
59.
This is the sort of momentum that Ali Carter's been searching for all evening. This is the sort of snooker that puts pressure on anybody.
Yes, you can see that Carter is now in a real rhythm. He's looking more and more confident with each passing shot. And there's the frame. Only 59 left. More importantly, perhaps, he's now monopolising the table. He's keeping Williams cold.
75.
Williams has scored just 2 points. Did just 2 balls since he led 3-2.
'82. 83. 90. 91. 98.
Carter's pot success now moving into the mid-90s. That's outstanding.
Still a chance to equal his Masters best break. 133.
This for back-to-back centuries. The crowd loving this.
106.
Mark Williams won't be.
108. 111.
Carter now making it look easy. He's in full flow.
115.
This time it's Mark Williams who has to summon the blood and come up with a response, because he's in the novel position this evening of being behind.
126.
How about that for a positional shot? Back-to-back century clearances. The captain is flying. Very impressive from Ali Carter. And it's Mark Williams now who has questions to answer. He's being outplayed. Right now, Carter leads 4-3. And this frame, after Williams had got in with the red, really hinging, Dom, on this pink.
Yes, a very, very thin cutback. Very bold shot choice of Mark Williams, but he knew if it went in,
Mark Williams.
it could have been a frame winner. As it was the last shot he played in the frame. Carter making back-to-back centuries. Rim full of confidence now. Mark Williams has work to do. This was a good positional shot from Ali Carter. Had too much angle on the blue there. Had to just trundle the cue ball into the reds. And this was a very good pot, similar to the pink that Mark Williams missed, actually. Very awkward cutback, followed by this excellent recovery pot on the black. And once that went in, it was back in A1 position.
Yeah, and there was pressure on that black, wasn't there? Because he was leaving a red to the opposite corner for Williams had he missed it. But Carter so far has handled the pressure of this occasion exceptionally well and deserves to be in front. This match absolutely living up to its billing. We expected it to be tight, intense and competitive, and it's certainly all of those things and more. Two players who have been in terrific form in recent times. Mark Williams, champion at the British Open this season for his 25th ranking title. Of course, he's just picked up a lucrative title out in Macau in an exhibition event, beating Jack Lazowski, who made a maximum in the final in that tournament. And as we know, Ali Carter has been a picture of consistency of late, winning his 5th ranking title last season in Germany, and also making the Players' Championship final, the Wuhan Open final this season. A lot of other deep runs, and he really is performing exceptionally well right now, monopolising the table with 2 centuries in a row. So how does Mark Williams respond to that? Behind for the first time tonight. 6, the target, of course, the winner to play either Trump or Kyron Wilson, who play tomorrow.
Easy, that type of pot. Now that Mark Williams is under increasing pressure, being a frame behind, the pot was made all the more difficult, and he's left it. There's a different type of pressure now on Ali Carter, because he's been playing catch-up for most of this match, and all of a sudden he can begin to taste success and victory in this match. Now he has that 1-frame lead and is only 2 away from victory. So he just needs to keep his mind in the present, not allow himself thoughts of victory too soon.
6.
Pink doesn't pop to the corner pocket, but this blue will still cut in. Not thin enough.
Ali Carter 7.
So Carter's outstanding purple patch comes to an end with the missed blue. So Williams, the typically cool red, It's his chance to re-establish himself in this match. He's been outplayed since he led 3-2. Reduced a spectator by the excellence of Carter. It takes more than a couple of century breaks to ruffle this guy's feathers. He is surely the coolest customer snooker's ever seen. Certainly the reds now very inviting, but Williams is going to need a good colour.
Yeah, he'd love to be able to chip the blue in, but it's a lot more missable than it may appear, so it's going to be the pink. Well played. This is the on a red, now that that pink's been respotted. There is a red below the pink that may pop, but it's a very thin cut and position. It's certainly not guaranteed. Also cut the red in nearest the right corner, but that's very thin. Good recovery pot, but again, he's lost the cue ball. Dare he attempt the green?
Sure, Williams is tempted to go for the pot, but clearly there's huge risk attached to it. So it looks like a safety.
Mark Williams, 50.
And I think Ali Carter will take note there that Mark refused the green. He may just view it as a sign of Mark's failing confidence, perhaps. Terrific pot from Ali Carter that was. Primary focus, I'm sure, was getting that cue ball back towards the baulk cushion, but this was a terrific cut. To avoid the cannon on the yellow, which he did, of course. Ali is taking on the brown. But he's missed it.
Ali Carter 1.
Getting down to the pressure stage of this match now as both players draw ever closer to the finishing line. Bit of a scrappy frame this. The pink's in a good position. The blue may be possible. That black's just a little awkward at the moment. Just chip this brown in and play for the red just above the black. That would be absolutely ideal for him if he could. Oh, what a beautiful kiss. What a beautiful kiss. That could not have finished any better.
5. 6.
Carter took on the brown.
13.
Caught the jaw. To give Williams this chance to level this match yet
14.
again. Never more than a frame between them to date. Is it going to be a best of 3 at the end of this Williams visit?
It's a long way short to position on the red to the left of the cue ball. This one's still on, but the cue ball will be running into the red to the right of it.
22.
It's finished okay. Has a bit of an angle on the black to work with.
No. 30.
I think Williams was maybe slightly disturbed by some movement, maybe in the
36.
commentary box from the host broadcaster there, but back in the zone and on the cusp of levelling this.
37.
38.
Carter knocked in the brown just now. Would have been looking at 2-frame cushion. 2 up with 3 to play. But Mark Williams has done what Carter has done on 3 occasions this evening. He's responded to finding himself behind for the first time. Nothing to choose between this pair this evening.
52.
This is the brown in question.
I don't blame Ali Carter at all for taking that on. Players do these days. You have to back yourself to pop balls like that under pressure. Ali Carter, just on that one occasion, was found wanting, and it has cost him.
And he would have fancied it, wouldn't he, given how beautifully he cued in frames 6 and 7, back-to-back century clearances. But Williams has done what he had to do. He's punished that potting error by clinching the frame.
59. $60. $66.
A useful contribution in more ways than one for Williams, levelling the match, but also regaining his rhythm, having been frozen out for 2 straight frames by Carter.
71.
And so he could well be in for a grandstand finish this evening. Two of snooker's form horses going toe-to-toe, neither giving an inch.
80.
And a lot of skill on display. The crowd lapping it up.
$86. Williams 86 in the front.
An 86 break from Mark Williams, and there is still nothing to choose between this pair. Are we going to the wire this evening? Every chance. It's now 4 frames apiece. Well, Ali Carter hasn't missed a lot since he fell 3-2 behind, but he did miss this one, Dom, and it proved very significant.
Yes, Ali just couldn't get away from the fact that he knew if he potted that brown, the frame was at his mercy. He just played 2 great frames, made 2 consecutive century breaks, brimful of confidence, but there was so much pressure on that. And the reason for it is it was an opportunity for Mark to go on and win the frame. And this was the first positional shot that was very difficult to play. Mark couldn't see any way of getting on the colour except to try and cannon that brown towards the pocket, and he played it brilliantly. But I wonder how long that missed brown from Ali Carter will haunt him. Got to put it out of his mind, though. If he doesn't, it could cost him the next frame as well.
Quintessential gripping drama here at Ali Pali. Ali Carter 4, Mark Williams 4, all to play for. It's now a best of 3. He started out as a best of 11. These are the vital statistics, and Carter's read very positively. Of course, he made those 2 consecutive century clearances, a pot success, a very healthy 93%. That's a little better than Mark Williams, and his long game, as you can see, has also been extremely reliable. 7 out of 9 is a great return, nearly 4 out of 5. His safety has been solid as well. He's played exceptionally well. and managed to get himself in front for the first time in frame 7. Had the chance in the 8th frame, missed the brown, but typical Mark Williams, Dominic, showing his class. Having been frozen out for a couple of frames, he produced the goods with that run of 86 to level it up again.
Yeah, absolutely. He pondered long and hard about what he was going to do with the initial red to the left centre in terms of getting onto a colour. Decided to plant the yellow into the brown, to knock the brown towards the corner pocket. Played it very well. And from there on, the frame was at his mercy, but there's a lot of pressure now on both of these players. I just wonder which one of them will go within a frame of victory first.
And a reminder that the prize for the winner is a meeting with either Kyron Wilson or the 2 times and defending champion Judd Trump. They do battle tomorrow afternoon from just after 1 o'clock UK time. Our build-up with Radzi and the team from 12:45 UK.
Thank you, the 9th frame. Mark Williams to break.
Mark Williams then getting us underway in frame line 9 of a possible 11. Who is going to get to 6? Book their place in the quarterfinals. Not the best break-off from Williams. He'll hope for cover via the green. Looks as though he's got it.
That's the sort of luck you need in crucial stages such as this. Carter now must try to avoid leaving chance of the pot on that red. Well, that's gone all wrong. He's caught the red too thickly and caught the pack on the way back to bulk. Wow, my goodness me, how pressure can manifest itself. Carter will probably have to pin his hopes on the fact that both pink and black are tied up, making a big break from here. May not be as straightforward as it could be.
Six. Seven.
Just next to the pink. I'm not sure that pots into the left corner. If it does, it will certainly give Mark Williams a chance to bring the pink into play, but what's he done there?
12.
He's over in the cube a little. As long as this red to the right corner passes the other one, he should still be okay.
Queuing again.
A little surprised Mark hasn't attempted to just play a delicate cannon into the pink and red just to free the pink. It's certainly a ball he could do with being pottable. No, cue right across that, hit the wrong side of it in the end. And the red to the right of the black spot is certainly cuttable for Ali Carter.
This is crunch time now, isn't it? Both of these players have spent the evening jostling for position in this match, but now both are within sight of victory. Pressure is intense.
Valiant effort to get the right side of the blue. I just wonder if there's value here in trying to come off 2 cushions and cannon into that pink. So many reds in open play. I think he'd be on one of them.
10.
Gasp from Carter as he hit that one, because he knew he hadn't hit it as he wanted to and out of prime position.
Just on the left-hand side on the cue ball. Sometimes the cue ball can pop off the side cushion and run on a lot further, and sometimes it just dies as it did there. Didn't seem to do anything. Taking the green on. For his little extension piece there, so that does suggest to me he's considering the pot on the green.
Excellent pot, but once again, position far from ideal.
I can't see anything that will pot. Is he really trying to cut this red in? So thin and risky. What a cutback that was.
Positive signs for Ali Carter fans that he backed himself to get that very tricky cutback. 2 outstanding pots to keep this break going. It's a measure of the confidence he's feeling about his game, and has been now for a good 18 months or so, with the string of consistent results he's put together. He's probably thinking to himself, if I'm going to beat a player of the calibre of Mark Williams here at the Masters, I'm going to have to go for my shots. I'm going to have to take the odd risk. This match isn't going to be given to me. I've got to go out and earn it. They were 2 very positive shot choices from Carter. And he's been rewarded with this opportunity to build on at the moment is just a 3-point lead. Got himself one up with 2 to play.
The pink will certainly pop to the right centre. I presume it'll pop to the left corner as well. Doesn't have the best angle. Either of these two reds, really. Standing up for the blue again. Really having to work the cue ball here, but he's just about the right side of the blue. 10 points the lead. So, in all likelihood, he'll need one of those awkward reds there near that left-hand side cushion. Ali Carter can put this pink, then pot a red, pink, red, black. You wouldn't need either of the two reds on that side cushion. Pots 2 reds and 2 pinks, and Mark Williams can still tie.
Williams was in this frame. Mr. Red to the left corner.
55.
.37 the margin. So if this pink goes in, the best Williams could do is tie the frame.
I'm going to presume that Ali Carter will attempt to leave a double on one of these two reds, which would be in effect frame ball.
Not quite over the winning line, but that's an excellent break of 61 from Ali Carter. A couple of gutsy pots to keep it going. He's on the cusp of leading by 1 with 2 to play. And of course, Williams needs blacks with the remaining reds in order to have the chance to tie it up. Carter very much the favourite right now.
This red is straight enough for Mark to attempt. Don't think he could get onto the black from it. Could play for the pink and take his medicine and just play for the one snooker.
Frame ball. And he knew it was in from the moment he struck it. Another excellent frame from Ali Carter. Break of 61. Featured a number of tough pots, but he didn't flinch, didn't take a backward step, and he's been rewarded. Typically tenacious performance, this, from Carter. Still got to apply the killing thrust, but he certainly merits his advantage. It's a slender one, but it's been that way all evening. Never more than a frame between them. And now Ali Carter stands on the brink of the quarterfinals of the Masters. He leads Mark Williams 5-4. Well, this was a surprise, and it just goes to show that even the ice-cool Mark Williams can feel the heat. And that gave Carter the chance to establish himself in this frame, and what a good break it was, Don.
Yes, it really was, because at this stage the pink and the black are out of commission. This was a great shot though, the green. Was disappointed not to be on the blue, and he played through that disappointment to pot that excellent green to keep the frame going, but this was an amazing cutback. I wasn't even sure he'd take it on. It was so thin, but he did take it on, and the pots kept flowing, and Ali Carter managed to win that frame quite comfortably in the end, and he's now just one frame away from place in the quarterfinals.
Plenty for the two times Masters champion to ponder. Mark Williams finds himself behind for the second time this evening, having 3 times been in front. And of course, whoever gets to 6 will play the winner of our match tomorrow afternoon on day 3 here at the Masters. Judd Trump, who won his second crown 12 months ago up against Kyron Wilson. This is the tail of the tape, and it makes pretty good reading, doesn't it, for Carter, who is still 5 percentage points clear as regards pot success. Of course, he made those back-to-back century clearances and has played extremely well, showing his mettle in 3 times equalising after Williams had asked the question in the first half of the match. But in the second, Carter has looked the stronger. That's not to say, of course, that Williams could still have the last word. But this man, 1 up with 2 to play, in a tournament that by and large has not been particularly favourable for him, even allowing for the fact that he made the final here in his last appearance 4 years ago.
Thank you. The 10th frame, Ali Carter to break.
Can Ali Carter get it done without need of a nerve-shredding decider? He breaks off in frame 10. Chasing just his 4th quarter-final appearance here at the Masters, and his 13th try.
One of the best break-offs we've seen this evening. Not a potable ball has been left. And for me, one of the telling stats is the safety stats, because Ali Carter has been behind Mark Williams for nearly all the match, but just lately he's crept. Well, he would. Before this frame began, he was just 1 percentage point ahead of Mark Williams, 81% to 80, but they're level now.
Yes, he's certainly been able to match Williams in that department this evening, and he's also been able to outscore his opponent. Just over 100 points ahead of Williams, who misses the thin edge, catches the red on the way back, and goes in off. That was an eventful visit.
He'd be delighted the cue ball found the pocket, though. Had it rebounded from the jaws of the middle pocket, there would have been a possible red for Ali Carter. It still is. It's going to be from distance.
And that's another area where Carter has excelled tonight. 8 out of 10 attempted and found their mark. But this is where the pressure is at its greatest, with the match on the line, a chance to win. That cannon on the green, having missed the red, not favourable for the captain, so Williams gets a chance.
Just seemed to build himself up so much for that particular pot there, Ali.
Yeah, shake of the head, he knew if he'd got that, this match was within his grasp. As it is, Williams with the chance to build a lead in his bid to take this all the way.
Could be risky to go into the reds here. There were a plant of 2 reds just below the pink that looked close, and my goodness, they were. And you can see it. Looking at that camera angle, he can get through to the red.
Sam.
This is why you practice all of those hours for weeks, months and years on end for moments like this.
And Williams' ability down the years to shut out the gravity of the situation is legend. Amply demonstrated when he claimed his 3rd World Championship at the expense of his fellow class of '92 great John Higgins, who produced one of his customary clearances from the brink of defeat in that World Final to close to 17-16 after Williams had missed match ball.
20.
Only for this man to respond with a magnificent 69 to clinch the title. But he's missed that red on the stretch.
Mark Williams 20.
So Ali Carter not really punished for missing a long-range red. Williams looks to the heavens. Yeah, they're both feeling it now. Hang on, wow. Very close to the fluke, but you can cut the tension with a knife inside this packed arena right now. So much at stake.
Well, at least appears to have got things safe. This audience completely enthralled. What's been the closest match we've seen in this year's Masters so far.
MrQ. Goodness, it's all happening.
Yeah, sure.
What a time for that to happen for Williams.
It's amazing, isn't it? In any sport, not just snooker, how nerves can just suddenly grab you.
What a chance this is. But nothing is easy at this stage of a match of this gravitas.
Walker in the middle there. Rhian Evans, the 12 times ladies world champion, to the left as we looked. Now Ali does have 3 reds in open play,
6.
2 of them up in bulk or near bulk. There doesn't seem to be too much available in that pack of reds. Lee Walker in the middle there, coach of Mark Williams, lifelong friend.
Williams looked pretty furious just there, didn't he, in his chair after the miscue gave Carter this opportunity.
Well, Ali has a chance here in playing the red to leave himself a good angle to go into that little group of reds and the pink. I can't see possibility of planting a red into a corner pocket, so I think he could play it full-bloodedly. Spot there available. To play for the remaining loose red below the green. Ali's problem is, though, if he cannons into the pink,
80.
It could deflect from the red just below it and not actually cannon into the reds and develop too many. That's the problem. If he can leave himself nearly straight on the blue, he may be able to go into the reds and the pink of 2 cushions, which may be better.
90.
That's exactly what he's tried to do, and I think he's played this very well. Is he just straight enough on the blue to play the shot he wants to play?
He certainly was. What a shot he's played there. Is that the match winner from Carter? Could not have executed that any better. What an opportunity he's created for himself here. One of the shots of the night, and what a moment to produce it. This match is now in his hands.
25.
Nothing Williams can do except remain focused and prepared in case he gets the chance.
Ali Carter is feeling
31.
extremely tense and nervous at the moment, but full of excitement as well for what he may be about to achieve.
It's been 4 long years since Carter last contested this tournament. Too long for a player of his calibre. Of course, he went all the way to the title match, pipped to the post by
40.
Stuart Bingham. And if he can take out one of the greats of the game and one of the form players in Mark Williams, get himself into the quarterfinals for just the 4th time, well, that will make him very dangerous going forward. Concentration, though,
47.
vital. He knows that one slip up here and Williams will be in. The ball's very inviting
48.
as a result of that superb cannon that he played. It's looking a little bleak right now for the 2-times champ.
He's left himself a little bit to do here.
Played it well, though. Top side of the blue. Closing in, 39 in front. Test of nerve at this stage. Ordinarily, this would be routine, but not when there's a quarter-final place at the Masters at stake.
60.
Some spectators hiding behind their fingers.
61.
But this blue is all that Ali Carter needs for a place in the last 8.
$66.
Three times he fell behind,
67.
3 times he responded, and then found his A game with back-to-back century clearances. But even more important than those 100 breaks is the nerve he's shown when given the opportunity to close this out. And what a cannon he played to open the Reds beautifully, and he's capitalised. That red doesn't matter. The captain pulls rank on one of the all-time greats of snooker, Mark Williams. Ali Carter clenches his fist, and no wonder. What a performance from the SXQist. He's through to his 4th